From the basement of the Hopheads Guide to the Galaxy World Headquarters located in northern Colorado, this is the Hopheads Guide Podcast. I'm Matt Reber.
I'm Brown Jake. Is it really pass interference if the receiver never sees the ball? And are unicorns real? We answer those questions and others on this episode of the Hopheads Guide Podcast.
Hey there, Hopheads and Beer Geeks. Welcome to another episode of the Hopheads Guide Podcast, brought to you by Beerds by Nick. With me, as always, is the man who invented the mankini because he thought Speedos made him look fat, Jake the Brown Guy.
Speedos add like 30 pounds.
Unless they have stripes on them, then you're good.
Well, the stripes take away the 30, so your natural weight. It depends on if they're vertical stripes or horizontal stripes.
Yeah. Also joining us are Nicko the Hippie, back in the studio, and Blake the Pebble Johnson.
I rolled on in again.
Yeah, and there's one pun. For those of you who are on YouTube Live right now, we're drinking every time Pebble makes a pun, so we're gonna be really drunk by the end of the day.
Man, oh yeah.
So we also have a special surprise guest on this episode. Not only a surprise for all of you, but especially a surprise for Nicko the Hippie.
Oh my. Oh, man.
I like it.
So, Jake, we'll start off with congratulations. Again, you've won the trophy. You've been champion for a few weeks now. How does it feel?
Oh, it feels really good. I actually brought the trophy with me.
Good.
Do we really need to talk about this again?
God, that's the real deal.
There we go.
There it is. There is
Can you say
the Dynasty Cup right there.
I'd rather not even have it close to me.
Oh, don't worry. You never will.
You never will.
Don't even look at it.
I'm sure our listeners have heard us talk already about the fact that Nicko was our last place trophy winner.
I don't think it was all my fault, man.
Don't?
There was, I got really unlucky pretty much every single week.
Yeah, I think you got unlucky week one when you drafted your team.
I got really unlucky before the league started, I think. Like super unlucky that first day.
Yeah, your unluckiness was like right off the bat. So
I wasn't happy about that.
You did win one game, which is
Beat the shit out of Stein.
impressive. Yeah,
Yep,
you did.
yeah.
You did beat Stein, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Felt good about that.
Yeah. But I don't really know. I don't really know what else you could have done except maybe just draft a different team.
Yes.
I kind of had to start differently.
Maybe not draft the
Good.
same team you did the year before.
Yeah.
Maybe learn from your mistakes.
I was in a bad spot.
How many games did you actually win this year?
If I could count them all on one finger, that would be one.
Just the middle one? Well,
Just the single one. I got really close on the other ones, though.
somehow, so you actually got lucky because there is a rule.
Oh, wait. Our special guest has arrived.
Oh,
yes.
Shit.
Jake, the white man, Johnson.
We got the white in. Oh.
Yo, Nicko. How are you, my friend?
No shit. I guess that's why it is a little imperative for me. God damn it, white man.
So glad to see you.
Oh, my God.
Super duper.
Is that all you got?
I was kind of expecting a little bit more here.
Climactic.
Stage fright is setting in.
Dude, we only have 5 viewers.
Hey, there we go.
Son of a white guy.
Did you steal that from your kid?
I stole it from my kid.
Man.
Why isn't this working?
It's like it worked at home in front of my 4-year-old daughter.
Need my book? Need my lyrics? Since there's only one winner of the Dynasty Cup, I'm here to inform you about what's up with the real deal and the true sought after, and how in 2018 Nicko was the master. Drunken Donkey started off with a shitty draft. way back in August. That night was a blast. He's still paying back his buddy's sweet, and I'm still trying to get up off my feet. But this ain't about me for once this year. It's about Nicko and the ultimate fear of winning this piss-rimmed toilet bowl with a 1-12 record to secure his role as the shittiest GM in our league. That takes a lot of talent with Tom Brady. QBing at the helm most of the way. Zach Ertz and the Bears D. We're all out to play.
Nice, I like that.
One has to wonder, one has to think. With such strong talent, how could that team stink? Well, it's not that hard, don't need to look far. He's the only ass hat around with no car. Like a regular drunk Bill Nye with rye, he mixes and stirs a liquid pie. With the hop heads here to inform you and teach us how hard to craft brew. I want to give them thanks for a forum to do this. But wash your hands, Nicko. This is smelling of piss.
That was good.
Nice.
For you, my friend.
Well done, Whitey.
Mic
Well
drop.
done, Wad.
In my head, it was so much better.
Oh man.
Oh, can't wait. Do I get to keep the lyrics too?
Keep the lyrics.
No, sir. I'll email them to you, though.
No, because you'll pull a Kenny and then do the same lyrics
Oh,
for the person who wins it next year.
yeah, right? I can't wait to use
You
this.
gotta sign it. You can use it if you want.
And it has to be displayed in your home for the next year.
I can do that.
Mine is-
Are you kidding me? How do I not want to display this thing? My whole toilet bowl?
Congrats.
Fuck, dude. Thank you, White. Thank you.
You earned a beer, sir. Would you like one? Joining us today, we have the man behind Beerds by Nick.
Hello.
Nick, thanks for joining us. Talking about your beard products, you just rebranded everything.
I did.
And it looks really great, really clean. All the packaging is plastic
Yeah.
instead of the glass,
It is.
which I like.
I do too. Sadly, glass, although, supposedly more recyclable, is not because it takes more energy. So
Yeah.
I had to bite the bullet and go plastic because it is more recyclable, and I do care about those types of things. And it's lighter, it's easier to ship.
And I love the spray bottle.
Yeah, actually, that was because of you. You said you always take yours and put it in a spray bottle. So I started doing some looking around. I was like, let's try it out, and I'm really happy with it. I use it every day. And
When the old beard oil bottles had the little dropper in them.
Yeah.
And I had the bad habit of just kind of putting the dropper in there, not really screwing it back on. And then I would do something and swipe my hand and it would hit the dropper and there went the beard oil.
And you're quickly like trying to scoop it
Yep.
up in your hand and rub it through, and you're like, and it'll go in the hair
Oh,
and
no.
everywhere, everywhere.
And just rubbing my arm against the counter, my back and everything. It was pretty fun.
So this was also to help stop that, because I do the same thing. You forget to screw it on all the way, and then you bump it, and you're like, well, damn it.
Now I could just spray it up in the air like perfume and walk through it.
You could, yeah.
So you have two new products.
Yeah.
Of the newest products. One of those being the beard wash.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So I'm actually really super excited about this. I went through a couple of trials, and I just got tired of not being able to wash my beard, because you should not use hair shampoo on your beard. It's not formulated for that. They're different.
I think a lot of people with beards don't realize that.
They don't. It's so your head hair actually needs a lower pH, and your beard hair needs a higher pH. It actually strips all the oils and makes it, wear a black shirt and you look down and it looks like it snowed on your shirt from your beard. You don't
Right.
want that. So This is an all-natural one. There's no crazy chemicals or anything. Yeah,
Looking
he's
to
got a
make
clean
sure-
shirt.
Making
yeah.
sure I have a clean
I s-
shirt because I'm wearing a black shirt right now.
Yeah. So
Good product.
everything was carefully chosen for beards specifically. There's oil in there, different vegetable saponifications. That's a fancy word for soaps.
Okay.
But it's formulated pH-wise and everything just for beards. Should not be used every day. If anybody's thinking like, ooh, I'll just wash my beard every day. Like every
Right.
3 to 5 days is good.
Yeah, I'm a 5-dayer.
Yeah, I'm like a 3 to 4 day, or if it's like a really bad day at work and I have just all sorts of crap in my beard, then it's going to get washed.
Yeah, yeah. One of the things I love about your products is your ingredients you can actually read and understand.
Yeah.
There is no phosphates or any of the other things that I read the side of a bottle and I go, oh, that can't be good.
I don't even know what that is.
Right.
I'm a chemist and I don't know what some of those things are. You read it and you're like, I got to go pull out a book because I don't remember what that is. So, it's all, the goal was to be just as natural and healthy for your beard as possible. I use everything before I let it out to the public, and it goes through a couple of trials. So if I'm not happy with it, it's not going to be on your beard.
So check out Beerds by Nick. Where can they find you?
It's beardsbynick.squarespace.com.
In the studio, the White Jake.
I know. Look at that. Awesome.
We've never
Next-
had the white and the brown
I know.
together.
Even like right next to each other. Yeah.
That's on live, huh?
Live.
Yeah.
YouTube
You
live.
guys are tacked.
Attacking it heavy.
So Nicko, we did that special for you. We wanted to make sure that winning the toilet bowl was something memorable for you and special.
I'm never gonna forget it. That's for sure.
Yeah, you never forget your first time.
Yeah.
It was so funny because I honestly forgot to give it to you. And I thought on Christmas I should do something, then I just spaced it because of the turmoil in my life. Thanks to Reber. Hey, did you ever give that to Nicko yet? Oh, no. He's going to scold me. Oh, no, I got a great idea.
Yeah. I was like, I may not get it until the draft. Like, this could be great.
You might be one of those lucky few because, man, trust me, when I lost it and Whitey won it, I made sure he got it right away. That shit came out because I had it up on the ceiling. I had to post it. You got to, have it displayed.
Yeah.
I pulled it right down. I'm like, it's not mine anymore.
Camp in front of his house. I'll be here as long as it takes.
When I won it, I got back from getting engaged.
Oh my.
Very happy, exciting moment in my life.
Right.
Only to find that toilet bowl sitting on our bed with freaking a love note from freaking Whitey.
Oh my
I think you got it
gosh.
from Kenny. It was Whitey's
No, it was Whitey's love note.
and then
Kenny
the year
just
before.
scratched out the words
man.
and signed his name on it.
Where did you keep it? Where do you have it at?
It was sitting right up there on top of the safe for the longest
Oh my.
time.
I can't
But
believe I've never noticed
It's
that.
gone. That's
gone.
it.
Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah,
It's been a
that's
while.
it's
Yeah,
a
Whitey's
rotating
out.
It's like
trophy.
Flat Stanley, but a toilet seat. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
My name is on it. My name will never be on it again.
Oh, you think that?
You were
Oh,
close this
my.
year.
No, I
No,
wasn't. I was in the
he
Super
came
Bowl
in
this
second
year.
place.
Oh, 2 of 12. That doesn't mean.
That wasn't his
Oh, that's
record.
good.
That wasn't his record. That's
I miss you, Whitey. It's good having you around.
Well, thanks for doing that
Reverse.
because that was something very special.
That was
special.
really
that
exciting.
was special.
I did not know what was about to happen. That was enjoyable.
That was fucking rad.
And after today's text, when you text me today, hey, you still up for it? Because I told you I was going to text you yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta do something. This is for a show. What am I gonna do? So I just looked over and I saw there's that goddamn karaoke machine. I'm gonna do something with that. I'm gonna make rap. Oh, and then I should have played the Frozen.
Oh,
it was a
God.
Frozen.
Yeah, I had lyrics, or I did the lyrics, and then I put in the Frozen disc, and I thought, why didn't I do that?
My kids would have loved that. They would have wanted to play that over and over.
Remix.
Play Whitey's song.
Well, the good thing is now the video is captured, and I can edit that and just send it to Nicko for a reminder constantly.
Keep that.
Oh, yeah.
Keep that enormously long, awkward pause on.
Him dropping shit.
It was like a deer in the
just-
headlights.
I'm just gonna
wait, this just got real.
Well, for some reason in my head, I thought I'd memorize it. So I'm in the car. I'm like bussing it out. And then I get in here. I was like, what's the first word?
Line.
What's that? Yeah.
8 Mile. It's like, oh,
Right,
man.
right.
Oh man.
Damn it, Rabbit.
Well, it was priceless nonetheless. It's gonna be hard to top that one. I thought your
God.
delivery to Kenny, like 4 years ago,
Oh, yeah.
on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That one was gonna be hard to
Present.
top, but I think I did pretty good with Aaron when I got rid of it.
Dude, like balloons, right?
Did balloons,
Someone
put it in a
gave me a-
box.
yeah.
He opened the box up. Balloons came out.
Oh, my.
it was awesome. And he just looks at me and goes, "Thanks." Like he wasn't upset. That was also the year that he quit the league, and he was like, "Thanks, I'm out of the league." And I was like, "Really?" I hurt your feelings that badly that you're like,
Come
See the
on.
balloons?
I quit. One of these balloons says congratulations on it.
It's a happy time.
One of them also said it's a boy, but
It was 50% off.
Right?
Oh, we found out it was a girl. I can't buy those balloons. I'll give you $2 for them.
Oh, my.
well, that was good. That was priceless. But thanks for doing that, Whitey.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks for reminding me.
It's good to see you, Whitey.
You too, buddy. It's been a while.
Since what, August?
Yeah, right? Whoa.
Has it been since
Maybe.
August?
You know what's amazing about it is that outfit you just had. Like you didn't have to go and shop for
Right.
that outfit, I'm
Yeah.
guessing. You probably just had that.
I walked in it this morning because it was cold.
Dude,
So
he's
I
actually-
walked my 3 miles in it this morning.
He's actually trying to remember right now what he had on. He's probably going, wait, what do you mean? This is my Saturday outfit.
It's Saturday,
I thought he
right?
was going to say. I thought he was going to say you wore that in August. Probably did.
I probably did. We drafted on Saturday,
Yeah.
right?
That was a Saturday.
No, I just got these sunglasses. I couldn't have had them in August. That's good.
So? Tell me about hop brews, hop hits.
Hopheads.
Upward.
This is it, man. This is
is
what
what
we
we
do.
do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're experiencing it. There's nothing to tell you. This is literally what we do. We sit in the basement and we talk. Normally we talk about beer, but this just seemed way too special not to, not to do.
Well, last
No,
year it
just
was
taking
always
it.
we had a little bit. We talked about fantasy football. Oh, hey man, well, this or you're looking like you have a good team, and it kind of. And then when after everything happened, it was like, okay, we got to add some stuff on. We got to
Right.
let the people know, keep them updated.
Yeah, yeah.
You probably go back to one of those first episodes. It's gonna be like, oh wow, Nicko's got a great team. He's probably gonna take it this year. No way he's gonna lose.
That conversation never happened.
Really?
Not even
Ah,
once.
Yeah, 'cause
I feel like it may have been
Not
there.
even once.
Oh yeah.
Like he had a pretty good team. That was probably up there.
that was my comment.
We
It was
did
our-
say that you had a team.
I had a team. Check.
The real team.
I paid money to be part of this.
Nicko remembered to draft at least one person in every position, which was better than the year before when he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh fuck, I was supposed to get a kicker this time."
75% of your team was not rookies this year.
I had
which
a
was-
sheet that I had to mark off each position. I was really good this year.
You were, yeah. you
Like
were
really
well
bad.
Prepared.
Methodical, but just didn't.
All
didn't
that
work out.
Yeah.
training, all that prep.
Training?
I was worse. I did some serious
Did you
training.
do like a correspondence course or something?
Serious training.
He's always watching the combine. He's doing push up. He's all Tom Brady due for 357,000 miles. He always checks down 95. I'm going to third round, I'm going to take the New England running back.
He's like, I bought a tape.
Always.
I bought
Yeah.
a tape. I had to buy a VCR just to watch this
Everything,
tape.
everything was analog. Everything was analog.
With that rap, I was trying to make your team look good, but when you look down deep in it, it's like, oh man.
After the first 3 guys, it got real bad. Yeah, I had 3 winners, and then I was like, "Who? I could pick up anybody, and they would be the same as anybody else." Like, yeah, they were bad.
Yeah. It's all right.
Oh,
Most
man.
people don't have a good team.
Well, next
Yeah.
time,
I nowhere to go but up, right?
try to buy a DVD that's produced in this century and not
Yeah.
one from 1997.
That's gonna be
that says
tough.
you got to take Alway in the first round. He's like, yeah, I'm down with that.
I'm definitely not doing anything that I got to pay money for, so
No.
it's going to be much the same.
No, you cram just like in college.
Yeah. Okay. It's going to be the day of hungover. It's scrolling through a magazine
Oh, yeah.
or looking at Whitey sheet.
Perform the best under pressure.
At least you didn't draft Abdul.
Amir Abdul.
Abdul, and he's like, he got cut
Wait, he
yesterday?
got cut. Oh. No, he's on the team. He's 4th string. Oh, he got cut tomorrow. That's good.
Well, he didn't lose.
I did not lose.
I thought for sure you draft Amir in 7th round. I was like,
Hey, by the way,
I got this.
and in consolation, I do owe you $25. Remember that?
Is that still? Because
you-
he got
Absolutely.
hurt.
What? $25 for what?
We had a. Oh no, that was the deal. Remember?
We had a side bet.
We had a side bet. Was it with Amir?
No,
No.
it was Garoppolo and Brady.
Oh, Garoppolo.
Oh, yeah.
Who had more yards?
Who's gonna have more?
Oh,
yards at the
yeah,
end of
who's
the
going to have
season,
more yards?
Better season. Garoppolo or Brady. Oh yeah.
regardless of injuries. Apparently,
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
the
won,
season
I won
counts
handily.
that way. Once a guy gets hurt, you're like, all right, win by
Win.
default.
Well, Tom Brady didn't get his $5 million bonus because he didn't meet all of his expectations. So
I think if Garoppolo doesn't get hurt, he's pushing Brady. I mean, it's going to be a toss-up there at the end. Who's got more yards?
I probably would have lost that one too.
yeah, but Brady not getting his $5 million bonus, really, that doesn't affect him at all.
I don't
because
think.
I'm guessing he's going to make it back tenfold with his whatever happens in the Super Bowl.
Oh, it's his wife
Even if he
just going
loses.
to like, I'll just do
Endorsements.
this other photo shoot. Boom, there's your bonus.
There's
Yeah.
right
$5
there.
million.
There's your
yeah.
$5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, she makes quite a bit more than he does.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's rough. That's rough.
When you're not the breadwinner and you're a Super Bowl quarterback.
Oh my God! You know what that reminds me of?
Oh,
My household. Shit.
Well, you definitely outkicked your coverage, so
That's one thing I got going for me. I can't rap, Stein.
Stein thought it was great. Although he just said, "Don't quit your day job."
Yeah.
it's still good. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's the one guy I'd be worried. Like, if I was Stein right now, I'd be worried. And depending if I plan on getting married, and if I lose, and my wedding's around the time
Ooh, that'd be great.
that I
Yeah.
have lost, you got to think, oh, I haven't got the toilet bowl yet. I'd be bothering the guy, like, give me that goddamn toilet bowl so you don't bring it to my goddamn wedding. And present it.
Guaranteed. I don't care where his wedding
Wrapped
is.
up as a wedding gift.
You know, I might purposely lose.
Yeah, right?
And then,
I will
and then
lose with
really
you.
develop a rap.
Yeah,
You know, plan it out.
dude, I'm there.
Grab the mic at the
I'm
wedding.
throwing next
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
I'm
Pay-
throwing next year, so the year after that,
Oh man.
I am prepared.
You pay off the whoever's officiating the wedding to like in the middle of
know.
the wedding go. Well, somebody has a few words to say.
Does anybody have anything to say?
Oh,
I know. Does that like
Yes.
somebody have something to say that doesn't want this wedding? Oh,
Nico just comes charging from the
Right.
back of the.
little Whitey starts his
Cue
rap.
Yeah, we could have joint losers.
Oh, it's gonna happen. I don't care. I'll lose if it's. Oh wait, I can't lose. Shit, I gotta win. We gotta somehow make Stein lose. That's not easy to do though. I mean, it's not easy to get
Hey, it
last.
happens. It happens to everybody.
Yeah.
That'd be
Look,
great.
look
if he
at the
lost.
names on the trophy. The names on that trophy also
the
match
names
on
on-
the. It's kind of amazing when you're like, holy shit! I don't. How did I win that?
Up
And then
and
you
down.
look, you're like, well, that guy won fucking the Dynasty Cup twice. That guy won it twice? And how many times are you on the toilet bowl?
Twice.
One for one. That
I
means
think,
I'm
I
on
think Whitey just, I just want to
So
win
you're
something
even.
this year.
It's either here nor there. It's up or down. There's no in between with me. It's the extremes.
I'm either first or
Exchange
last. I'm either first or last. Oh man. So we do talk about craft beer on this show sometimes, though, Wade.
Sometimes.
just today, we just had to talk a little bit about fantasy football, just
Hey.
for shits and giggles. So,
That's good.
but speaking of craft beer,
Yes,
what
sir.
is your most memorable experience with craft beer? What is when did you get into craft beer?
Yeah, I was just thinking about this the other day with the introduction of craft beer in the grocery stores.
Yeah,
And I had to buy one. I had to buy a 6-pack from the grocery store. I'm sorry to all your fans out there that are loyal to the cause, but I
to the cause of the liquor store.
yeah, I was remembering back early 90s, about 92 is right when I came up to CSU, and we had some delinquent brothers, younger brothers, that introduced us actually to craft beer.
Yeah.
Buying Sierra Nevada Stout, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, and I remember I would down Sierra Nevada Stout by the 6-pack almost nightly, and it was $6.
Damn.
Oh,
for
nice.
a 6-pack.
Yeah, $5.99 back in the day.
And
6 of those in a night.
I was just reminiscing about that recently and saying, lamenting the fact that it's $10. Oh, you can't even buy the stout anymore. They don't
Yeah.
even make
Yeah.
that one.
No.
And New Belgium used to have the old cherry or the frambozen, and so you just start thinking about these old beers that used to exist that kindle that taste bud.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and spark it. And, you miss that. You miss paying cheap,
Oh, yeah.
back in the day, and you miss some of the flavors that they used to make. But it's all relative, I'm making more than I did back then, or at least sometimes I am.
Or at least your wife is.
Right.
Somebody's making
I
more.
still have access to funds. But
She
yeah,
gives you an allowance.
right.
This
yeah.
is your stipend for the
Yeah,
week.
and I haven't been good. I haven't been doing my chores. So I haven't been getting my allowance.
Stop by the brewery anytime, Waddy. I get you hooked up.
But yeah, I think just Sierra Nevada has a place in my heart, just because that's what I was introduced to. And then, oh my God, we used to vomit on oatmeal stout.
Oh, like on purpose?
Not on purpose. Just
On the 6-pack, they're just like,
Is it,
marking this.
Is it like the gallon of milk challenge? Or like, who can drink all this and still not puke?
So stupid.
Sarah?
Back then,
Sammy Smith's?
that was Sam Smith.
Samuel Smith.
People love that Sammy Smith's.
Yeah. It's
Well, he
potent.
loved it a lot.
Yeah.
Enough that it was going to make him puke.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to love that. I used to thought it was so cool to bring home that whatever 20. It was a 22 ounce, but it was like a short, stubby kind of 22 ounce.
Fancy
The
looking.
foil on the top.
Yeah, and I always thought, man, having one of those in your fridge, you've made it.
Mhm.
That's how you know you've made it. You got a Samuel Stout in your fridge, or
Right.
Samuel Smith in your fridge. That's how you know that you're
You're
really doing
classy.
good
You're
for
doing-
yourself.
you're about to recycle the can. You're like, no, I'm gonna hold on to this one.
I'll wash it out. I'm gonna
up
put
on
it
the
right
shelf
up here.
Yep.
And yeah, that was
Those
'cause
my
that
friends
was the,
coming in. Oh, you
that was the
had one
cream
of
of the
those?
crop,
Yep.
or at least that was the expensive beer at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was only maybe for one of those $5.
Maybe, yeah.
But now it's, if you get one of those that are 25, 30, there's probably $50 bottles.
Oh yeah, there's,
Oh, yeah.
they
Yeah,
get
I got
up
one.
there. Yeah.
I got one at home.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm definitely not in that range. Because I'm not I would just abuse it. I wouldn't sip it and be fine with it. I would be,
I'm gonna vomit tonight.
Bringing it back.
So I'm
You
not,
ever vomited on a $50 beer? I have.
That's true power right there.
That's how you know you've made it.
Does your wife get worried? You're like, you bring home beer and you're like, I'm going to go old school. You're not puking tonight.
God damn it.
God, man, come on.
just last night. Why do you have to drink so much? It's my third beer. Why do we only have a 6-pack? That doesn't leave any for me. Well, you got three more. Oh no, you're gonna drink more.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
true,
it was.
right?
Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just stick here at 3. And I woke up with a little hangover after 3 beers. I was kind of pissed.
Oh yeah, that's
that's
getting
the
old.
worst.
We had our 40th episode, and we talked about how getting over 40, you start realizing,
Yes.
like Sean-itis. Yeah, you do have to go to the bathroom a lot more. We always made fun
It's
of
a
Sean.
real
Now
thing.
it's a real thing. We feel bad for Sean now.
I still
I
don't
have
feel bad
diapers.
for him, but
Yeah, it's true. Because his is still like after 1 beer. I could at least drink 2 beers and then go to the bathroom. His is still like he smells beer and goes, I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. So the one thing I saw today was, our read this week was Widom Brothers is closing down after 22 years. Widmer, whatever.
Widmer?
Well, they're gone, so it doesn't matter.
they're
now.
not closing down. They're just closing down their tap room.
Oh,
They're
I
still
saying they're completely closing.
no. They're closing. They're closing the tap room down, which is across the street from their brewery.
Oh,
So the brewery's been the tap room's been open for like 22 years,
Okay.
and they're closing that tap room down. But they're not they're not shutting, like, ceasing operations.
But they're also owned by. I did not know this. The Craft Beer Alliance. I thought they were just individually owned. I thought they were their own little company, but I did not know they were actually owned by the Craft Beer.
yeah,
Alliance.
they're part of. They
Yeah.
got bought by the Craft Beer Alliance, I think, in like 2008,
Yeah,
2009.
they were one of the early adopters to
Yeah.
Oh, really?
to the big names, which is
Yeah.
probably why you forgot about them because it was so
Yeah, it
long
was so
ago.
long ago.
Yeah,
that
you
I
forget
still
about
thought they were.
And he thought that they were the Widmy brothers.
Yeah,
The Whibbies?
the Wibby brothers shutting down their such good beers. That's why Justin never, or one of the guys never emailed me or texted me back. I was like, "Oh man, I heard the news. Hugs." And he's like, "What?
What?
Tear.
Yeah. No, that isn't exactly how it went, but so Nicko and Blake, you guys were supposed to be part of our our New Year's
yeah.
episode,
Yeah, about
Yeah.
that.
and you both puked, got sick, and puked on some oatmeal stouts. Is that how it went
That's kind of what happened. It was like really serendipitous. He brought that now. Yeah, just got the nasty flu.
I find it weird that you both got the same flu at the same time.
We were drinking oatmeal stout. No, it was like, well, I was debating. I was like, I'm feeling good. I was like, no, like I can't get anybody sick. And then Nicko, I saw that text. I was like,
Feeling good.
okay, now I got permission to also. I am bedridden right now, so no, this is not good.
So, since you guys didn't get to be part of the episode, I thought I'd give you the opportunity, it's still early in the year, to express your predictions for craft beer for 2019. Nicko, you look really pressured, so I'm going to make you go first.
Son of a... Oh, I thought I was going to have more
No.
time here.
And you can't say that the craft beer industry is going to continue to sell beer like
Oatmeal
you did
stouts.
2 years ago.
Why would I say that? That's a dumb statement.
It's like saying they're going to open. There's going to be many breweries that open.
Like at least
Fucking ridiculous comment.
At least 20.
Some will open, some will close.
No, the shit thing about craft is that it's getting harder and harder to sell beer. There's less shelf space. It's that continuing trend that we've seen for the last couple of years. So, kind of prediction is nobody really gets bigger, but more breweries keep opening in like a mile radius. So every mile radius, okay, new prediction, just happened. In every major city, in the top 100 major cities, there will be a brewery for every 2 mile square radius within the city limits.
Wow.
Every 2 miles, there'll be a brewery.
By the end of 2019.
End of 2019.
In every town, everywhere.
In every major city.
Okay.
So we're talking like, the big ones.
You're probably not
Denver's,
too far off.
I bet you Denver has already matched that limit. Like they probably already have
some places,
at least a brewery every 2 miles within the greater city limits. And that's how it's going to be because everybody just sells. As long as you sell from out of your own location, you don't distribute, you can make a boatload of money and not have a lot of overhead because there's still a lot of people that want to brew beer. A lot of people want to work in the brewing industry.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to pay a whole bunch and your overhead's low because you're not having to sell to a distributor. You're not having to take those margins. You get to sell what you make, and everybody wants to go to their local brewery, and it's kind of annoying for the bigger brewers, but everybody can keep making money from it. It's a lot more fun to work at a brewery and own a brewery if you got some funding for it. So there's no reason for them not to keep opening, because you can continually sell out of your own location.
Right. Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot more of those opening up and a lot less of anybody else.
I got you. So instead of seeing growth in terms of like breweries getting bigger, you're just going to see more of them.
Anybody over 50,000 barrels isn't getting any bigger than where they're currently at, or they're gonna try really hard to get bigger. But everybody below that, you can grow from 0 to 2,000, and that's the sweet spot. Don't go above 2,000. Keep it steady, keep it small, keep it local.
Yeah,
and people will continue to buy it, be able to make a living from it, which means there's going to be more beer out there, which is going to be really annoying for everybody else, because the choice is going to be hard. Hopefully the quality maintains, but it's going to get pretty muddled out there.
I think the quality is doing a good job of maintaining right now. I think that the breweries that aren't making quality beer are slowly getting weeded out.
Yeah,
or at the very least realizing that, oh shit, we got to improve or we're not going to make it.
Yeah, the few times I do actually try a beer that's not a New Belgium beer, it is good beer. In the past, I would try beers, and it was like, oh, God, like, why am I going through this? It's a lot of not-so-good beers, and I'd probably say the last year or two, every time I go to another brewery, it's always quality beer. There's not off flavors. They're not putting out shit. It's maybe a beer that I don't love, but it's a non-off flavored quality beer.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. All right, Pebble, now you're on the spot.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I agree with most of those points. In short, like I'm in the sales world now, so I'm kind of getting, a feel. I've been doing that for a few months, getting a feel for what the market's like out there. I think you are going to get those, like, like your neighborhood bar, but they're just going to be like, hey, let's do a brewery. So just like small systems, neighborhood breweries, like micro neighborhood stuff, you're going to kind of plateau with some bigger breweries with their growth. I think it's in a way it can be good, because it gives an opportunity to, you have to come out the gate with like quality product. So hopefully that quality will sustain. Kind of like off the note of like craft beer, I see it, like craft spirits, like getting up there too. I know like Oscar Blues, they're doing like their canned like cocktails and stuff. So people are trying to like, like successfully like piggybacking off like, hey, we're a brewery, we're gonna do this. But as far as beer in general, I see like, local liquor stores as we knew it before the law changed are maybe going to just double down on smaller breweries. So that could give them an in if they do want to distribute. But, you make your most money, like Nicko said, like off tap in the tap room, no distribution, no middleman there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you guys are on something there. I think you're right. We need
like
more beer.
Maybe a direct line, like a water line from the brewery to my house.
But you're close to a brewery, right?
Or no, you start with a lighter.
I'm gonna tunnel it myself.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Well, my prediction, I just got one just right now during this episode.
Hot off the press.
Yep.
You can't take back the predictions that you said before.
Oh, it's a new one.
Oh, okay. You're adding to your prediction?
Yep. Whitey's Oatmeal Stout Challenge is actually going to become an online thing. You're going to see videos pop up everywhere.
Do you have to drink out of the trophy?
So wait, what's the
No,
challenge?
I wouldn't drink as much oatmeal stout you can without vomiting.
You drink a 6-pack of 22-ounce Sammy Smith oatmeal stout.
Oh, there you go.
Because we're going back to the 6-pack. I mean, it's bigger. It's 22 instead of 12, but yeah, maybe you rock that.
I think there's something there. I mean, it's still safer than the Tide Pod challenge.
Oh, see,
it is safer.
See, they're just getting too wild. Like,
That's true.
I mean, the cinnamon challenge that was fine, but now we're getting crazy.
White, do you want to try some of this beer?
No, sir. I'm gonna finish mine and get to the store.
All right.
I got a list.
They sell beer there now too.
You mostly buying beer and eggs
You're going to keep passing
And a stick
by.
of butter.
and butter. That's all I got. That's all you need.
Beer, eggs, butter.
You're going to keep just passing by that
Battlestar
oatmeal stout.
Galactica.
They're like, nope, I'm not doing the Whitey challenge today.
All right, that beer's gone bad.
All right. So, Nicko, tell us about this beer you brought us.
That's bad.
Yeah, I'm about ready to dump it. I will not drink this beer. It is probably shouldn't even say it. We'll maybe open up a different one and talk about it. But it is.
Let's talk about this beer.
It's pretty much full of tobacco. It's like somebody put chew spit in my beer, and I will not drink that. So let's we're gonna take a hiatus here and get a new one.
At least you guys are true off the cuff. There's no there's nothing that says Nicko was a paid sponsor. This beer does not sponsor Nicko's commentary.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
we are brutally honest on this show, to say the least.
Well, remember when we asked Manuel what kind of collaboration he was going to make, and he said he was going to do a smoked lactose sour?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is probably what I would think it would taste like.
There you go.
Wow, I did not expect this type of beer to come. So I'm gonna say I don't mind talking about it. So this is a collaboration between Burial, Jester King, and Blacklands Malt. It's called Land of Eternity Rolling Plains Lager. Nicko, it tastes like
Rolling Plains.
It tastes like tobacco and it's an amber. It's described as an ambient terrain rustic lager, or part of the rustic lager series. And man, I'm just gonna come around and say it. That beer sucks.
That could be the worst beer.
No, the Big Meat was the worst beer I've ever had.
Oh no!
I have nightmares of the Big
Meat.
Meat. I have nightmares. I go and I'm like, I'm dreaming, and I'm like, I'm going to go to this bar and have a drink. I'm like, hey, what do you guys on tap? Oh, all we serve is the Big Meat.
Yeah, I don't want
What?
that.
And I just wake up in a cold sweat. Like, no. Oh, okay.
That's scary.
Just a dream.
Nick, thank you for sharing
Cold
that
meat
with
sweat.
us. But fuck, that's bad.
Where's that from?
So Burial's in North Carolina. Jester King is in Texas.
Hey, you got to think those two breweries are going to come
Blacklands Malt. I don't know where they're at.
The label's cool.
So Jester King is a. I mean,
nice.
Jester King is a, highly renowned sour brewery. Burial just makes killer beers, except for this one.
Yeah, I went to the brewery. I had a bunch of great beers. I bought probably $50 worth of beers. Brought them all back to Colorado. I brought a handful here, and like every beer I had there was great. I was like, oh great, they made a collaboration with Jester King. It's a lager. You don't see that very often.
Yeah,
this is going to be amazing.
It's not what I anticipated at all. It's,
you don't think it's skunky or something like that?
No,
do you?
it doesn't have off flavors. It's it just isn't.
The symphony is not.
No. You're not going to be leaving because you're going to have another beer to get that.
That's like a trout with bacon.
Your fish has gone bad, sir.
I don't mind it, to be honest with you.
No, you're wrong.
But
no.
That's it. You're never invited back.
Right.
If you don't agree with Nicko,
I've definitely had worse.
It's like when two highly attractive people don't have a cute baby. Like that's there you go. It's a thing. It's a real thing.
Oh
my God! I really don't mind.
Wait, this one's yours. This is not a joke, right?
Wait, what? No.
It's drinkable. I'm not saying it's undrinkable. I'm just saying it's not good. It isn't. Yeah. It is not good.
Undrinkable.
I don't know. I think you guys are just after the second taste. It's a little more smooth.
Yeah, because your taste buds are gone.
Right.
But does it not taste like a piece of wet tobacco?
Yeah.
Does that sound good?
Actually, why did he just recently quit smoking?
Right.
This is what I'm going for.
Right. Maybe that's
this is what helped him quit.
It's like, hey, for all those smokers that miss that taste, that miss that licked ashtray. God, if I could just wake up and find an ashtray to lick. Yeah. Oh no, here's a beer.
This would be a great morning of beer after you had a horrible night.
Right.
And you drink that. I was like, well, my days just got a little bit worse. I'm in that same level of playing. Like I feel horrible, and this is the exact same as what I'm feeling.
I'm no better, no worse. I'm just sustaining.
I could have gone and had a good breakfast and it made this day improve, but no. Instead, I decided to drink wet tobacco beer.
You want to keep that horrible feeling going.
You mix that with some eggs.
So let's talk about the other beer.
Beer number 2.
Before you start another, I better bounce.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Thank you.
Thanks for
And
coming.
you drank the rest of that. You did drink the rest of that.
I liked it. I'm not gonna lie.
You were lying.
That's why it's time for you to leave.
Actually, yeah.
Right.
I feel
That's my
horrible
cue.
right now.
That's my cue. Let the experts talk. Let the child leave.
You're probably going to go right out and smoke a cigarette.
Grab a
right? 'Cause you're gonna be like,
I'm going to
like, I haven't had a cigarette in 2 years.
my wife's gonna ask me, "You smoke?" No.
No,
did have a
no,
beer.
but I had this lager that I got to find online and get at least a case of
You
it.
smell like nicotine.
It's like I'm flying out to North Carolina tomorrow.
Nicotine.
Drink.
Drink. Oh, drink.
Oh yeah, that was a pun.
Yeah. Blake just punned it up.
This is Southern Beer Girl, and you're listening to the Hophead's Guide to the Galaxy with Matt and Jake.
I love that guy.
So this beer, Burial.
Way better than Eternal Land of Suck Ass.
Surf Wax India Pale Ale.
Surf wax.
Yeah, a little bit more. I think apparently I believe this is one of their kind of standard beers, but I didn't have it while I was there. But it's kind of more reminiscent of what their beers were like when I was there.
Yeah.
They seem to be
yeah.
known for IPAs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a solid beer.
Yeah. I like this beer. I think I've had it once before. I want to say I have, just because the label looks really familiar.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
a lot going on in this label.
Yeah, they got cool designs for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Whole lot.
Oh, I took a picture. It's not good for radio, but everybody else internally can see it. On the side of their building, they've got.
I took this picture.
Let me show it to everyone.
You could probably put it up
Show
on
this
Facebook Live. You could
Oh,
show it up to the side. Like that's the entire side of their building.
That's pretty freaking cool.
They got local art. I mean, it's Asheville, so it's everybody's an artist.
Yeah.
Fort Collins of the West.
That's pretty fucking awesome, dude.
Let's see this. Oh my god, that is legit. All right, here we go. That's awesome.
And Nicko.
Just hanging out. Just a couple of dudes.
So it's what's the monster's name from Goonies?
Tom Selleck?
Who's
And
the monster?
So was it
what's the
Sloth?
Sloth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Sloth or
Yeah.
Slug?
Slog or I thought it was Sloth.
Sloth.
Didn't like a football like a pro football player play him in the movie? I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna look this up real
Huh.
quick.
I did not know that.
We're looking it up.
But and Tom Selleck,
And Tom Selleck.
which
And Tom Selleck.
makes no sense whatsoever. Why
It's about
why those two people?
It's probably
are-
20 feet by 60 feet.
That's
is
pretty
this
awesome.
mural, and it's them two with a couple barrels, and then on the side that you can't see, there's like a barn with some brewery equipment, but it's mostly the entire side of the building.
Yeah, I'm a little off.
those
Is
two
that Tom
guys.
Selleck or Burt Reynolds?
No, that's not Burt Reynolds. That's definitely Tom Selleck.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not, if that's Burt Reynolds, that's the worst Burt Reynolds I've ever seen.
Because it looks like Burt Reynolds, like the freaking, was it not Cannonball Run, but what was the other one that he
I think
used
it's
with
Tom. I think it's Tom.
I think it's Tom Selleck.
Okay.
Don't disrespect Burt Reynolds. Not
Hey.
in my house.
Hey.
Yeah, John Matsuak. He was a defensive end for the Oakland Raiders. Played Sloth.
Played Sloth?
Yeah.
Ah.
So, little movie fact.
Huh.
Here, there's another segment of the podcast. Fun movie facts from
Random
Blake.
Facts.
We got to have a little ding, ding, ding.
Cacao.
Cacao. Right at the end. Ding, ding, ding. Cacao.
All right, so Blake, you're drinking the beer flavored beer, and
Yes.
Does it taste like beer?
It tastes like beer. Yeah. I didn't think it would. No, yeah. No, it's great. No, I've been seeing so much about this and have been really wanting to try it, and I dig it.
So Wiley Roots, basically Wiley Roots got what they wanted. They have been trying to get some sort of cease and desist letter for a couple of years now. Like, they have been pushing the limits of what a company would tolerate. I mean, just with their slush series, when you look at the label and it looks like a Sonic Route 44 drink, they name them after Route 44 drinks. They're Thomas the Tank Engine, Thomas the Dank Engine IPA. And then just recently, they released beer-flavored beer. Along with beer-flavored beer, they also released a beer called Chuggington, which was quite literally, the label was a ripoff of Walt Disney. The lettering was the same.
Ooh.
The character was very similar. Like,
You don't fuck with Disney.
yeah, like, you don't fuck with Disney, you end up in Disney jail.
They kind of ripped off like Old Town Fort Collins though, so it's like you ever hear they
Yeah, which
image
is-
Disney off of Old Town Fort Collins, like
Right.
in Disney.
Yeah, that's
So I
that's-
mean, they started
They're
it,
screwing
so,
two people over.
They started it.
So finally, Wiley Roots got their cease and desist letter.
So they've just been brewing beers and labeling them and designing them so that they would get a cease and desist. Like that's their goal. That's their end game.
Now, if
What?
I don't think they're going to come right out and say, yeah, that's our goal, but they're so blatant about it that it's pretty much what they're doing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're pushing the limits to
Trying
see
to see where they go.
what the heck's going to happen. They finally did it with flavored beer, and they didn't get a cease and desist letter from the company that you would think, because when you look at this label, it's the label has the Wiley Roots logo with a little crown on the top. It is very similar to an AB label, a Budweiser label.
It's got the red and white,
The color,
the
the
cursive
format.
writing, the block letters on the beer.
Yeah, so it's they actually ended up getting a cease and desist letter from a brewery out of San Diego who owns the trademark for beer-flavored beer.
Yeah.
And
That's a good
so
one.
they, it wasn't really what they expected, but at least they got, I think, the media that they wanted from it. Like, I just know.
No,
I mean,
I
I know.
kind of feel bad now because he was going for something bigger.
Yeah, it's like that's who I got.
So does he feel bad? Like there's another craft brewery that had that trademark that he ends up getting the cease and desist. So that means they have to go and get the lawyer power and everything else, and not the people who have lawyers already ready to go and do shit like this.
Well, and it wasn't even a lawyer. It was like their marketing manager just sent them a letter. It was very friendly. It was basically like, hey, just so you know, we have beer-flavored beer trademarked. Just make sure that you don't call it beer-flavored beer anymore. And they were even nice enough to say, whatever labeling you have, go ahead and use it. Just let us know how much longer it's going to be on the market and how much more labeling you have. They were cool about it, but they were also like, just don't do it anymore because it's ours. That's our name.
It was probably Dave the janitor that works at that craft brewery. He's probably like has somewhat of a law degree.
Probably.
From Phoenix University.
It's DeVry, motherfucker. All right.
So, but I mean, I just thought it was interesting that they've been pushing the limits, with their labels that look like Sonic, the Chuggington, the Thomas the Dank Engine.
Yeah.
The Chuggington one, when I saw it, I told Kyle, I was like, all right, you've pushed it too far, man. Like,
Fucking Mickey Mouse is going to come here and kick you in the
dude,
balls.
there are even like in the back of the
I gotta find this.
in the background, there are even like Mickey Mouse-esque little like hints and the Walt Disney cursive type lettering.
Oh.
So it's not like he's fairly blatant about it. And even the Thomas the Dank Engine, like the train looks like an old school train.
Yeah.
But
It's painted the blue and the red.
no, I mean it wasn't that
Okay.
blatant,
It's got
but
a face on it.
yeah, but it was. I mean, so I'm sure he's happy that he finally got the press that he wanted. I mean, because I know for a fact this is the whole reason of him doing it
Yeah.
was to eventually get somebody to give him a little bit of press for it, and it worked. I mean, I'm not. Maybe I am a little bit accusing him of this, but you can't really blame him. I mean,
Yeah.
It's a nice label.
Yeah.
That's a nice.
But doesn't it? I mean, it has a lot of things going on in the label that you're like, okay, you've pushed it a little too far, dude.
Because look at this. Okay, guys should really look at this.
Why isn't there more people? Yeah, who can see video. Get into these people's minds, and we can just push images into the listeners.
Yeah.
Y'all got smartphones. Come on.
Come on. Just Google Chuggington. We're all looking at it together.
We're all gonna count to 5. That's gonna give you enough time to search for it.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a British animated TV series too. It's called Chuggington, and it's got trains in it.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, there you go.
Good name for a beer, though.
Right? Yeah.
I'm gonna head on down to Chuggington, take some Sammy Smiths, and probably puke later.
And see how much I could drink until I throw up.
A little place called Chuggington.
But the beer is actually really good. I really enjoy the lager. It is super easy drinking. Like you can throw a few back.
I did not intend to drink.
We'll
that
crack
whole
one
can.
open.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it just happens.
It happened.
It's a nice, easy Hellas.
Yeah, we'll crack some open here in a little while. But anyway.
Well, I mean, he does really good on his labeling, and we even talked about that when we did the Cinemonster. So, when he actually released it, it was kind of like, all right, I want to see how long it stays on, but it's kind of funny that it's not the direction he was looking at.
Yeah.
And so I'm with you on that. But last week, so I got to go down to Resolute, down to Denver.
Okay.
They're doing a little collaboration for Collaborating Fest for Westfax. So I got to cover that. That was actually really fun and really good. They were doing a beer to Mars, and they were going to do 2 different types of fermentation. One was actually going to be in a barrel. One was going to be in a stainless steel tank. So I'm looking forward to that. And Matt, where'd you get to go yesterday?
Woods Boss. Yeah, I went to Woods Boss yesterday. They did a collaboration with Hidden Mother out of Washington. And I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden.
Jagged Mountain?
Jagged Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably the most unique beer I've ever seen brewed in person. So Hidden Mother, if you guys don't already know, Hidden Mother is known for their tree luge beers. So basically what they do, they go out, they cut down a fresh tree, they cut a V notch into it, and they recirculate their boiling wort through this luge.
Blowing my mind.
Jake, you'll have to pull it up on your phone and show it to him. But so they recirculate their hot wort through this luge back into the kettle, and they continue to do this until they get the flavor that they want with spruce tips and the actual wood of the tree. And they're known for this. Like Hidden Mother has a beer that they keep on tap on a regular basis that is this beer. And they're using a very unique yeast called Kvek yeast, which is an inland island. It's kind of similar to a Saison yeast, but it's a Norwegian yeast. And it can tolerate 100-degree temperatures without getting any off flavors. And it has a really lemony, kind of spicy note to it that the warmer it gets, the more dynamic those flavors kind of come out. But just the experience of being there while they were doing this was pretty interesting to see the process of how they did it. And it's all flavor. They don't just go, okay, we're gonna do an hour on this running through this tree.
Right.
They're constantly taking samples of it, going, okay, yep, that's where we want it.
Huh.
Wow.
And then they stop running it through the tree. They boil it for another 20-30 minutes just to get any of the possible bugs that could be in the tree out of it, and call it good. But that beer will be at Collaboration Fest. They have a really unique name for it. They're going to call it "There's a Splinter in My Long Johns," which I think is a great name for it. But yeah, that one will be at Collaboration Fest, and that one's one that I'm really eager to.
It's going
try.
on the list. Man,
Yeah.
that list is getting pretty long.
Well, all of them are on the list, but
So we got to make sure we actually are able to get there an hour early, and hopefully we actually get there the hour early.
this time,
Because last time we only got there maybe a half hour, maybe 15 minutes, and we got to have 2 beers without a line, and then all of a sudden there was lines everywhere.
yeah,
So
yeah. And they did it again today with Mockery Brewing. Hidden Mother went to Mockery today, and they did another Tree Luge, and they were making a sati, which is also kind of a saison-ish type beer. I was supposed to go today, but I was like, I've already seen the Tree Luge, so
If you see it once
you've seen a Tree Luge, you've seen them all. I mean, it's like, been there, done that.
Except this time they did 3 different luges going downhill.
3 different trees. 3 different species.
Yeah. Well, and they do different species of trees when they do they brew the beer and then they run them through different species of trees. So you can taste the variations based on the different, species of trees that they run them through.
That's
so it's
wild.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Safe to say they really branched out on that.
Drink.
God damn it, Blake.
It was a real treat for you to go down there.
God damn it.
Woods Boss is awesome.
We're opening next.
I went to their grand opening. That was like 2 years
great.
ago, I think, right? They're about 2 years. Woods Boss
2 years,
about 2
yeah.
years old. Yeah, and they had a lot. That was good stuff right off the bat.
Yeah, they they had a stout that they went ahead and tapped while we were there. That is one that they haven't released yet, and I don't even know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I'm going to anyway. But it was a
we're gonna get our first cease and desist.
It was a bourbon barrel aged stout that they had aged with various adjuncts like vanilla and graham cracker and like some of these other things that were. I don't even know what all was in the beer because quite literally he's like, I hadn't had a beer at that point, and Jordan, the owner and brewer, he was like, we just tapped this, you have to try it. And I was like, and he's like, it's not even released yet. We're not releasing it for like 2 weeks. And I was like, yeah, you're right. I have to try it. So, and I didn't even really get a very good description from him, but it was an incredible stout. So in a couple weeks, just know that they've got one coming.
If you're able to go try it, go try it. I already have. You have.
I'm not bragging or anything, but
it's really good. So if you get a chance, go try it.
Yeah.
But I had it yesterday.
I'm really enjoying covering these collaboration fest things, though.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's a lot of fun, and just to see the, with the Hidden Mother and Woods Boss guys and Jagged Mountain guys, they'd never met each other before.
Oh really?
This was the first time they had ever even met or hung out together. And first they go out and cut down a tree together, and then they brew a beer together. And it's like, these guys have been friends their whole lives. Like, I honestly was like, you guys knew each other before. And they're like, no, it's the first time we met.
What?
And it was pretty incredible just to see the...
All right, we're going to do a collaboration. What do you guys want to brew? Well, we got to go cut down a tree. You want to go do what?
What now?
What? All right. That's a bonding moment. Jeez.
Yeah, those collaborations are great.
That's cool.
When is Collaboration Fest?
March 16th. Yeah.
You want to come down with us?
Probably not. Sounds great and all.
But I got to go to the collaboration between High Hops and Horse and Dragon too.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was really fun to watch.
No, that was awesome. Yeah.
Did you were you
part of it.
around the day that Horse and Dragon came to High Hops?
I was, yeah. I got to. We're doing the 10-barrel system there, the archaic system without a louder tone. So they let me hop up there and stir. And yeah, I got to get.
They
in
let
there.
you hop up there.
Yes. See, I didn't even catch that one. That was unintentional, folks.
We have to install that pun detector.
Right? See,
I told you. It's like we got to have that pun detector installed before Blake comes back.
Yeah.
it was really awesome. And then everybody from Horse and Dragon is awesome. And then Carol just got on the CBC board, I believe. Or not
really?
CBC, not
The Brewers Guild
Brewers
board?
Guild board. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
sorry.
I heard about that.
So
yeah,
that was legit. Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, just good folks, and it was a fun day for sure.
Yeah, it was fun to go and watch them. They're brewing a blonde porter, and I'm excited for that beer just because I want to see what it looks like. I mean,
Right.
All of that porter character without the roasted malts.
Right.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, we did like one couple years back. It was like Bad Mama Java. It was a blonde stout. So yeah, substituting a lot of coffee beans in there. Just not really any darker kiln malts. Retained a light color, kind of emulated the flavor. So expecting something similar. But I'm a big coffee drinker and I love beer, so I'm stoked.
Yeah. This beer's really good.
Yeah, this beer's solid.
Oh my, that is solid.
This is a lot better than the tobacco beer.
Oh, this is a collaboration. Watch out.
Oh, dang.
Speaking of collaboration,
It's with the other half. It is a double dry hop with a lot of different hops.
Is that what it says?
With our best, worst friends at the other half. At least put it on the can. I'd be like dicks. Sorry, it's Captain 2 used to be an athlete. I used to be an athlete.
I used to be an
Yeah.
athlete.
It's good. It's a good name for a beer.
That is a very
Right?
good name for a beer. Because we're all there. We've all got the, oh yeah, in high school I was...
It's like, you're going to need this beer, sir. I'm like,
I used to run a lot. Now
I don't.
I drive to my beer.
no, that's tasty. Where is this from?
This is the last burial beer that I got.
Oh my gosh.
So another Asheville burial beer. It's seems more like a hazy IPA. It has a lot of tropical notes to it. Getting mostly a bunch of pineapple. But it's one of those just super fruity hazy IPAs with very little bitterness and super clean, man. I love it.
Yeah.
That's tasty.
So how is Asheville treating New Belgium these days?
It's rad. I was out there kind of right at the beginning of January, kind of right at the tail end of holiday season and tourist season, and I'd go I'd either get lunch at the food truck or go in for a shift beer at the end of the day, and the tasting room was still packed. During the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mean, a bunch of people were in there, and it's still people on holiday. Like, it's mostly that town is ran by tourists. Like, it wouldn't be around if it wasn't for all the tourists, and
Really?
it's packed. But now it's like, I guess mid-January until kind of the end of February is the only slow time in Asheville, and then starting beginning of March, it picks up until the end of the year. So it's a great place. It's an awesome brewery. If anybody gets a chance to get out there, Asheville's just packed with really, really cool breweries. Barrel's right in town. Everything's pretty much walking or Uber distance, and New Belgium's around the French Broad, right outside of downtown, and it's a beautiful spot. Things are going well there.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good beers coming out of Asheville right now. I mean, you didn't bring me the one I asked for, but you did bring me some good ones.
I got what I could.
This Allagash is. I'm really excited. We may end up cracking this one open. I don't know.
I may just drink this later.
Or I may just wait till you guys leave and see
I
if.
did listen to the podcast.
Hey,
It's
Rap,
see you later.
Relax that Allagash.
Yeah, and I spoke specifically about this beer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, Nicko.
Well, I wasn't going to get it for you.
Well, of course you wouldn't.
Yeah, I'll search around. I'll ask somebody. Fuck that, man. I got other shit I got to drink. It's not like you're going to run out of beer.
Yeah, and looking at the beer cellar right now, you don't need any more beer.
That's not true.
You've got more than enough.
It's not true. So, Blake, how are things at High Hops?
Things are good. We like a year ago ish. We kind of went through a big expansion. We went from a 10-barrel system to a 30. We kept the 10, so we're using that for a lot of kettle sours and things. Let's see, getting like the barrel program up and running even more. Doing a lot of fun stuff with that. And then in addition to all that, started a distillery late last summer. So
The Heart is up and running, man.
When did that happen? And why wasn't I told?
Late last summer.
Oh,
He just said it.
Okay.
Late last summer.
I just
Where
wanna
are the
make sure.
spirits, Pebble? Did we bring some
So-
spirits?
Yeah, we got
Oh, you're
we-
fucking kidding me. I was
I'm
just
not
messing around.
I came prepared. Yes. So yeah, it's called the Heart Distillery. It's still family owned. Same folks there.
Let's try some of these.
Yeah,
what's,
for sure.
what's your favorite?
So what we've got vodka, gin, absinthe, rye whiskey, bourbon, and gin. The rye whiskey and bourbon is actually
Double gin.
I said double gin. Well,
He's
There's
got
a
a
lot of
double
gin.
gin.
with the gin, we did get a double gold best in show, so there was some truth to that.
so
double gin.
Double gin.
So you got a full show in
I
there right now.
got a full show in there. But with the rye whiskey bourbon, so we got our still from like Courson Distilling, based out of Idaho. That was like it was last spring. So our product's about 9 months old. give or take. So to start off, we wanted to have offerings in the tap room, and then we're starting to do some self-distribution. We're using Dancing Pines product for the rye whiskey bourbon until ours is done maturating. Dancing Pines unfortunately went out of business last year, so when they were liquidating some of their assets, we bought some finished product from them.
Nice.
And now
Pun intended.
Pun intended. So let's all drink. Yes, ding. So yeah, we're on the bottle. It would state like bottled by the Heart Distillery, distilled by Dancing Pines, so we get into our own product. But everything else right there is made on site. We grow the wormwood for the absinthe right on site.
Nice.
There, it's a perennial, which is nice, so we don't have to do anything too crazy with it besides harvesting and in regular plant maintenance. And then we use some of our own herbs as much as we can with like adjuncts and the gin and all that. So. Depending on what we want to try, I would start off with the vodka, but whatever you guys are feeling.
Are you guys pouring this in the tasting room and doing mixed drinks and like all your different spices? Like, hey, we got all these herbs from the garden here, and we're
They have
at you
them, they
this
have them
fresh
some like
made.
growing like right there.
Yeah,
Dude, that's
so
awesome.
and in aggregate, like for those who don't know about high hops, we're based right out of Windsor, Colorado, right here. So we're a greenhouse, a hop farm, a brewery, and now distillery all in one. And then, like they were saying, we grow some of our own herbs that we can muddle in our drinks, things like that. And yeah, it's really cool to be able to have that aspect there. So.
That's awesome, man.
I like to say that there is where I've had probably one of the best old fashions
Oh,
that I've
really?
had in a long time. Hands down.
Oh,
my
mom would love to hear that. That's all she drinks are
Oh,
old fashions.
really?
I'll tell
Yeah,
grandma.
you gotta take her there. She'd be in heaven. Like it is.
What is that guy's name that makes Dan?
Yeah, or at the distillery.
Yeah.
tap room? Dustin.
Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin
Yeah.
and Chris are in there a lot. They're both like really knowledgeable, awesome dudes. But yeah, hey, just hit me up. We'll hook you up if you guys whenever come in. I know I've seen you guys.
I'm there all the
Oh, yeah.
all the time.
Oh yeah.
I don't even have to ask
I'm
anymore.
there.
It's just I walk in and they just start making the old fashioned
Just like
because
there you go.
they know that's what I want.
Yeah, no, Dustin knows his shit, and yeah, so does Chris.
Isn't it kind of like sad that they know you in the distillery now? You could walk in, they have your drink ready. When you used to be able to walk in the brewery and they would just have your beer on the side.
Yeah.
Dr. Pat.
And I don't
sitting
even
there.
get that anymore. I'm like,
I walk through
hey.
the brewery now and they just give me the finger
Like,
as I
hey.
walk back to the distillery.
And you're like, yes, I am number one.
Do we want to run the gamut, or is there stuff that you just particularly want to try?
Let's run the gamut.
Okay, we'll start off with the vodka.
That's really
Let's run the gamut.
Let's run that
The
gamut.
old
This is
traditional run
So
the
I'm
gamut.
I'm making a collective decision for everyone.
This is when we need music.
Keep it little.
You're like, what do you guys
it
want?
little.
Let's run the gamut.
And we're doing the
Yeah.
gamut.
Take one and pass it around.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
This is
This is the vodka, and that same. It was like a Seattle International Spirits Fest. So that's where with the vodka here we got a 89 points. It was a silver, and it's just like it's kind of. I've been in the beer industry for.
okay, we're good.
For will be 7 years here in April, so I'm like really trying to get up to speed on the spirits world. I know just a minute amount, but vodka, it's just I would say. It's smooth. It's easy to drink. It's mellow. It's not McCormick's. It's a craft vodka. So
Oh yeah, that is really smooth.
It's made from potatoes. That's all I know.
And unicorns. Hey, then we answered the question.
great. See,
Unicorn tears.
Unicorn tears.
yeah.
It
And we
almost smells like there's like oak or vanilla or something.
Right?
Like there's
It's kinda
actually
like that.
some aroma to it, which
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be like most kind of vodka that I mix with something because I don't want to drink the vodka.
Yeah.
do right.
Like it's something I actually want to smell.
It's,
The aroma's
yeah, it's
great.
got like a little bouquet to it, but yeah, it's like not too bad. I'm not a big vodka drinker, and I remember like early on they're like, hey, like here, try a shot of this, and I'm like. I'm just like I'm a whiskey bourbon dude, and they're like, all right. I was like, oh, that wasn't bad, like okay, I'm not-
It is really
so
good.
It's,
And
it's smooth and
I noticed the vanilla, but I was just afraid my glass was really dirty, so I wasn't going to say anything.
yeah, you get that little sweetness to it.
It's nice,
there.
yeah. I mean, it's a nice setup. And it's warming. You drink that, it's not like beer. Like I just after that little sip, I get that alcohol warmth.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to pull up the tasting notes here. So yeah, Let's see. Yeah, so
Tastes like vodka.
tastes like vodka.
So you guys ever had vodka?
Kind of like the essence of vodka, really.
It's like that.
It's just like
I should
vodka.
put that on the bottle.
It's vodka,
Vodka flavored
vodka.
Yeah, I don't even have tasting notes for the vodka. So
Trademark, patent pending.
silky mouthfeel,
Dibs.
slight sweetness, smooth finish there.
Yeah.
So
Mix it with some ginger or Bloody Mary or
Oh, yeah.
your favorite
Oh, yeah.
drink of choice.
yeah. We do Bloody Mary bar every Sunday, and it's
You do Bloody
Maybe.
Mary bar every
every
Sunday?
Sunday. Yeah,
God damn it.
got Fort
Fucking, I know where Matt's going to be on Sunday.
right. We do the Fort Collins Pickle Company. We use try to
Ooh,
use
those
as
are nice
local
pickles.
stuff as we can.
Yeah.
Like in aggregate there at the home base. So
Fuck, dude, I love a good pickle. Do love a good pickle.
Thick, and salty,
you know the deal.
crispy. Oh.
Drink.
God damn it. I got to get another beer.
I brought over a beer-flavored beer.
Oh, nice.
Or did you?
Yeah.
So
Let me
let's-
try this.
Cleansing, the palate.
Yeah.
I guess we could either go. We'll save the absinthe for last
Yeah,
if we want to do that.
a
But
good
we
move.
got gin or go whiskey bourbon. I almost want to say do the whiskey.
Yeah, I'd
bourbon.
go whiskey bourbon. I will not drink the gin. I know it's great, but I'm just gonna tell you right
no
now,
worries,
I'm not
no
drinking
worries.
Does that turn you into like a hippie monster?
it. Just don't drink it.
I'm anti-gin.
There's
I'm
just some
anti-gin.
things you gotta say no
Is
to.
there a story behind this?
I just don't like gin. No, that's
Oh, okay.
that's about it.
I
that's
really
fine.
am
I-
not a big gin drinker, and
I'm
you
not
know,
a big gin drinker. either.
But this one's definitely more like citrus forward.
I hear people
but
like it.
Yeah, we're slowly getting out there.
So I hear that the bourbon is really close.
Yeah, the bourbon's getting there. So I think we did our first run in March, and like 2 years is the quintessential. Like you don't want to do anything before 2 years. So we're just trying to be patient with it, but it is getting close. We have a barrel program there as well. I don't know the pricing off the top of my head, but you can get like a small little cask with your
$8,000.
nameplate. Yeah, it's like you can give us like what's Bitcoin at right now? Give us like 3 Bitcoin, and
It's-
we'll
So
we'll
it's
do
like
that.
$1,400.
Yeah,
But you get quite a few bottles off of it,
right.
and you get like access to all the tastings and all
Right.
that kind of stuff.
You're there when we sample
Yeah.
it, thieve it out, all
Yeah.
that. And
I've been considering it strongly, but my wife has told me that I should stop considering it.
you
So
want to throw down with like 100 people, and we could.
I honestly, dude, I want to get.
Four-
We
14
actually,
people,
we
maybe?
like the first time when it first
many-
came out was like $1,000, and we actually
was-
like sat there and was like,
Yeah, we were
$500 that's not
contemplating.
that bad. We get our bonus checks here pretty soon.
It was $12.95 when it
Yeah.
first came out. Now it's up to like $14.95.
Yeah, we should have bought early.
How many people we got in the league? 10?
12.
There you go.
$100
I think that's
apiece.
perfect.
Boom.
Yeah,
And I know
who
a
wouldn't
guy.
wanna do
Maybe
that?
maybe
I'm
we can
in.
get a Popheads Guy discount or something.
I'm
too.
in.
So-
that'd be
I'm
good.
serious.
Let's
I
make it
want one
$1,200.
so bad.
Yeah, $1,200.
Or
Yeah.
make it $200. I'm totally in for it.
I totally want to do it because I mean I'm just excited. Because I love bourbon,
Mhm.
and two, I like things with my name on them. So if I can put my name on it,
Right.
it's really cool.
Right? Oh hell yeah!
This is so much better. I got this toilet seat over here.
It's got my name on it.
It's got your name
It's
on it.
really fucking
It's
cool.
got your name on it. Let's drill it in right now. Yeah, so again, this is like Dancing Pine's finished product that we're imbibing with right now. So kind of the description, as has been said by our distiller, Zach, bright orange, golden color, earthy nose, hints of cereal grains, caramel, and honey. Cardamom and warm vanilla sugar are evident on the quick finish. And yeah.
And you're leaving that bottle, right?
Very
we
well
can
described.
oh yeah, we can
This
leave that
this
bottle.
bottle is this is really good bourbon.
He turns and goes, "What?
It's a 3-grain mash, 67% corn, 16.5% wheat, 16.5% barley.
They had when they first started doing it, they had 3 different. They had the rye, the bourbon, and then they had the uncut versions of each one. The uncut version of the bourbon is awesome. It's really good. Now, so the liquid basically was bought and then you put it in your own barrels.
Right, or no, I think we just took it from their barrels and just put it, straight into bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
and then on the label it would say bottled by the Heart, which is us, distilled by Dancing Pines. We want to pass
I
that
always
on to
liked
John
Dancing Pines.
Oh yeah, I
Me
was
too.
amazed that
Yeah.
they went out of business. So
It was their location that fucked them.
you were with us when we tried to do like a Loveland bike and brew.
Yeah, me.
Yeah,
and
we
Derek.
ended
We brought
up-
Derek.
We ended
around,
up getting
yeah.
rained
Yeah,
out.
we're like, we went to 2 breweries and like, well, there's a distillery back there.
We just
Let's
went
go to the distillery.
Right.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked too to hear that they had, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it was like I do sales for the Heart as well, and there's still a lot of people out there that liquor store owners, managers that don't even know that Dancing Pines is out of business.
Really?
yet,
Oh,
too.
really?
Yeah, it's just like, hey, but we actually have their product right now, so
I still have a bottle over there of their bourbon that I kind of want to hold on to.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just hold on to that thing, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was like it was nice. We were able to, I guess, if you want to call it like, I don't know, want to say like helping them out, but it was like a win-win. I guess we were able to get something we can like offer a quality, bourbon, rye whiskey off the bat, while our stuff is kind of doing its thing and kind of helping them live on a little bit longer through the Heart, I guess. So,
yeah,
yeah.
I like it, and maybe.
And I'm
Yeah,
really like it.
I like it.
Yes, yeah, no, it's we got the rye whiskey
The
next.
ryes.
Yeah, and they
Really
were
good
both 90 proof, so 45% ABV on those.
Dude, the uncut of the rye is insane. It is. I mean, if you like rye, like IPAs or pale ales, anything along those lines, it's like a fire rye beer.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Well then, Blake, put that note in. You got to do that. You
Fire
gotta do
rye.
Fire rye.
Fire rye. Oh yeah.
And you got to call it Reber's Farts.
Reber's rye. There we go. Reber's rye farts.
Reaver's Rye Farts. Yeah.
It'll fly right out the door.
Right?
It'll be Hophead Guide approved, and then sales will go through the roof.
Not recommended in enclosed rooms.
Right on.
I know Nick's missing out from the whiskey episode. We had some really good whiskey, but man, he's really missing out on this one. He's going to be like listening to this going, shit.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be sending a text. Okay, we're going to do another episode. I'm going to come on. You got to get Blake back on.
Hey, don't even have to ask twice. I'll be here. The rye made with 100% locally organic rye grains, kind of amber, nose of clove, cinnamon, and caramel, honey sweet, and taste initially mid palate of vanilla, sugar, spiced apple. Overall, a sweeter rye. Yeah.
That is an excellent description because I got every single one of those things as you were talking.
Power of suggestion.
It is. I think it was. Or I just have that good of a palate.
Or we were just right on.
It's his power suggestion. Yes, I taste that. Yes, you're right. Yes, that's right. Nope, not getting any of that.
It is amazing how like the power of suggestion when you're tasting something and somebody goes blueberry and you go, oh yeah, I do taste blueberry.
Yeah.
It's like
That was
every
nice.
freaking beer shorts we do. Like I'm like I don't. You're like I'm getting hints of caramel. I'm like no way. Then I taste. I'm like oh yeah, there it is. All right. Fucking I didn't have it before. I just smelled the coffee. Fucking Matt. What a dick. Ruined this beer for me.
That's good.
It goes well with the
yeah.
beard flavored beer.
Right now, I was gonna say that's a good little thing to have there. And so we'll move on to the gin.
Is this the faux show? Is this the award winning?
This is the award-winning. So the
Okay, I'll take a little taste.
Yeah, no. If you don't want to, no pressure.
Yeah.
But,
No, I got to taste what an award-winning gin tastes like.
all right.
Because I can at least say, yep, I still don't like gin.
Right?
I tasted a double gold medal winning gin and I still didn't like it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really don't like it.
It's got to be better than the butt beer we tasted earlier.
I like to think so.
Oh, everything's better. Reaper's farts are better than the butt beer we had earlier.
You don't know that.
All right.
Well,
Make it little.
He's going to do it.
Little
He's going to
splash.
do a little
All
gin.
right. Oh my gosh.
Ooh, I can
This is
smell
exciting.
the juniper already.
Oh, man.
We'll do just a little,
Woo,
little
baby.
baby sass there. Well, Yeah. So let's see here.
Golly.
That's got a lot of juniper.
So yeah,
It smells better than it tastes.
right? Yeah, it's like
Well,
It's
like not your gin. Most gins
Right.
all smell better than. I think it's just maybe it's the dryness, the over bitterness of it all is too much.
so yeah, like
That
this
smells-
is like
that does smell amazing.
Thank you. Off the bottle here, the gin is carefully crafted with a unique blend of angelica root, coriander, cassia bark, licorice root, lemon peel, and orris root. And together, these botanical herbs create a symphony of flavors that complement and uplift the most important gin ingredient,
God damn
juniper
it.
berries.
God damn it, Blake. You're just pouring really good stuff.
Did I turn
God
you on
damn
to
it!
gin?
Like that's not bad.
It's really.
I mean, I'm
well,
still not going to choose that over anything else, but it's
Right.
not. I would not drink it.
I mean,
It's not super dry.
It's
Yeah.
not- yeah. It's actually
That's
Pretty
that blows
decent.
me
It's
away
good.
from any other. Yeah, any other gin I've
glad you
had.
did.
Yeah, I'm
I'm-
waiting for that dry, like that dryness you get from
Yeah.
the after.
Yeah, where you go,
I was puckering up like waiting for it, and it
wrong
never
with
came. I was like,
me?
oh, that's kind of nice. That's smooth.
I'm getting a lot of like
Good.
myself. I'm sensitive to it, but like coriander on the finish with it, which was described. I'm just like, that's what I don't know if that helps kind of mitigate
like-
that dryness, that sharpness on the finish, but yeah, I dig it.
Yeah, I get, like,
And I'm not a big
lot of,
gin drinker, so
Yeah,
a lot of orange peel with it, and that's really nice.
It's kind of funny.
Orange
You
zest.
see you go to a restaurant something like that, and you see like a mixed drink, and then you get down to the ingredients, and then they have gin in it, and you're like, yeah, no. Like I think there was one at your place. I was like,
Right.
oh, that sounds good, and then it showed gin, and I was like, no, I'm off. Now I'm kind of really like,
Right.
I kind of want to go back and try it.
go do
'cause
like
this-
a mule with it,
Yeah,
like you can get
yeah.
get creative with all that, and yeah.
I like it.
And then we got the
This is the one I don't get excited about.
the Big Daddy Bo Batty,
Yeah.
the absinthe.
We'll keep it small.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a small one on that
Got
one
it.
too.
Baby pour.
Well, I can take the bottle home.
There you
Don't
go.
worry about it. I can. knock
You
that
like
out.
absinthe? Really?
Get the. Right?
I'm a little weird.
Oof. They got a
You
whole
know there's
absinthe,
there's no worm in the bottle, right?
Right.
They got a whole absinthe bar in.
There always is when you
Brussels,
drink
or-
enough.
I put a worm in there.
I'd love to go to an absinthe bar.
Yeah, in Brussels, right across from the Delirium Tremens bar is the absinthe
Oh,
bar. So
that's
you go
perfect.
back and forth between absinthe and 1,000 different beers,
That'd be legit.
and on a offshoot of a alleyway
That's in
It's
Brussels. You
in
said?
Brussels.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
it's crazy.
Yeah, so the absinthe, the backstory behind the absinthe here, so it's so Trinity Absinthe, they've been around for a while. So the story behind like our involvement with this brand, yeah, it's 146 proof, so 63%.
Yeah, that's enough.
That'll
You got
light
enough
up.
in there.
Um,
You can have it all, Jay.
right?
You can have it all.
All yours, man.
That's so bad. No, I mean it's good, but
that's-
it's bad. Nah.
If you like absinthe, you're gonna love this shit.
Should have brought the sugar cube and luged it for y'all.
That's what I need.
But yeah, so the story behind Trinity Absinthe, how we got involved with that. So Joe and Amanda Pulowski started Trinity Absinthe. Used to be like Overland Distillery, and then they had sold that name. They had kept the Trinity Absinthe brand, and they were involved, I think, a fair amount, but in short, contract distilling, if I have that right, out of Dancing Pines. We had always grown the wormwood for them, and then when Dancing Pines went out of business, they reached out to us. They're like, "Hey, you've been growing our wormwood for years. Let's continue that relationship." So it will state it's bottled by us, and we do distill it, but it is their recipe. So that's and I just kind of got schooled in absinthe, a little like history lesson. They say it's derived from like Switzerland. Absinthe is, or it's like its origin, and why there's a lot of stigma behind absinthe is like the whole green fairy thing. I connotate that to like the reefer madness of like here in the States, like, oh, you smoked a joint, now you're gonna go crazy, But
Yeah.
So one reason why that had a lot of stigma was because it was getting actually fairly popular in France, and they have such a big wine industry there. So they're like, hey, we got to figure out a way to like put a stop to them taking our market share, it sounds like. And then they kind of put this campaign together to kind of derogatorize absinthe.
Really?
It's all marketing.
All
It's all
marketing.
rumors,
Yes.
man. That's funny.
Yeah. So, and then there, like, so wormwood, everyone thinks like wormwood is the ingredient that'll make you like hallucinate, things like that. I almost like approach it as like, it's like tequila makes me this kind of buzz, or like whiskey makes me like that, or, it's just kind of a different buzz, I guess, if you want to call it that even. But, yeah, in France, like back in that day in time, they were using other adjuncts in addition to wormwood that were actually like poisonous, it sounds like. So I don't remember the species of the plant when they were describing that to me, but it would have like really adverse effects on the body. Like it'd make your ears ring, it'd make you go crazy, and like that's why they say like Van Gogh, like he like cut his ear off because he had this ringing in his ear. He like imbibed with a lot of absinthe. So that's just like a very short history lesson on absinthe there. But
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always wondered if it was the wormwood that imparted that kind of licorice. I don't know what it's called. Anise.
Anise. Yeah, like star anise.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it tastes like anise.
Yeah,
to me.
so when
it totally tastes like anise.
100% anus.
You're exactly right, because there's anise in there. The
God, I knew
wormwood isn't really contributing to the flavor profile too much. It's so in the absinthe we use neutral grain spirits. We macerate all the herbs except the coloring herbs: grand wormwood, anise, fennel, and coriander. And then we have that in the still for 12 hours. Then we distill it, taking the first cut and coloring it with like hyssop, lemon balm, petite wormwood, and then we add that back into the final product. So it's if you'd have like a substantial pour, it's a very natural green color. If you go to like some liquor stores, you'll see something that's like kind of like neon green. That is like not a natural, herb that they're using. They're adding some type of coloring or dye to it. But that's what everybody, if you've seen like Euro Trip, it's like, oh, it's the green fairy, it's the neon drink, so the whole marketing thing. But really, it's just kind of just green from that chlorophyll and chloroplast and the plants in there. And then, yeah.
So is it aged on the wormwood in like a stainless steel vessel, or do you actually make like wormwood boxes or?
Yeah, I think that's included in like when it's macerated, it's like added into into it. And then with our still, since we're a brewery first and foremost, we're able to ferment in our like conical fermentation vessels, and we're able to like drop out that yeast and protein. So a lot of distilleries will actually ferment in their still. So we're kind of like mitigating, or we're basically making it a expediting the process of it being like really clear and just like a higher, I would say, quality product there, since we're kind of playing from both sides of it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It's interesting.
But yeah, I need to learn a lot more. I've been in beer for a while, but just really kind of trying to get a good understanding about all the spirits and all that, and it's been really fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it was all good stuff. I'm excited to have you guys here in town because it adds another level to the craft world in this area.
Yeah, no, it was something, like we started High Hops Brewery. It was like 2012, and there was no brewery in Windsor. Now we're lucky enough to have Mash Lab and Mighty River. So it's like awesome to put, Windsor on the map. It's like when we were kind of the only one, a little projection, but it's like, let's go to Loveland. They got like, 7 or 5 or something, or Fort Collins got like 20 plus breweries. Like, like High Hops is cool, but like there's just so much more to hop around with. So now it's like you can go to a couple places here in town, and then having the distillery too. So just kind of like you're saying, like the hometown team, back to that, like where is craft beer going? Everyone loves their hometown team. They want to support them. So it's really, the Windsor community has been awesome. Just Colorado in general, but, Windsor has really had our backs from day one with supporting High Hops, and we're seeing that with the heart too. So, yeah.
It's awesome. And kind of talking about the hometown team and Colorado in general. So Colorado is, I think, in the next couple months going to experience some issues because of like this whole government shutdown that's been going on, and the fact that you've got breweries that have projects that are kind of in limbo that are now just done,
right?
Because there's nobody to approve them, or there's nobody to approve labels.
It's like TTVs, they're at home, they're watching Netflix and chilling, and
Which, I mean, I think they've worked out a deal that's, I think it's going to end soon. But, just that this, what has it been now, 4 weeks of the shutdown, I think the long-term effects that we're going to see are going to continue for Colorado specifically. And our governor even went as far as to like lobby for them, and that's kind of the point I'm making about the hometown is like he was kind of trying to rally like, hey, this is my state, and this is what this shutdown is doing to my state, and I don't think you realize how important this industry is to Colorado.
Huge, yeah. That's like such a great point because like you like our graphics gal Ashley and Audrey does some of our artwork there too. It's like, if you're not sending a label in to get approved, and it's just like, well, if things get behind, like you don't need to work on certain projects, then it's like, what kind of work are we looking to do right now? You're scrambling a little bit, and if you want to call it like a first world problem, we are in the industry of like a luxury item. At the end of the day, it's beer. We're not, like saving lives or anything like that, but it is a huge part of like the Colorado culture, and we're very proud of that as a state. But also, if you're in the industry, there's a lot of jobs that are just tied to the brewing industry. So you wouldn't go first to think about like, oh wow, the brewing industry is going to be affected by this, but in a lot of facets it is, and it can aggregate to be issues down the line too. So.
Yeah, and it's important to Colorado. I mean, it's a huge industry in Colorado. It's supporting not only the brewing industry, but the agricultural industry, business, marketing, fabrication. Yeah. I mean, you name it. It's being affected.
Lawyers,
here in Colorado.
Cease and desists, like they're going to stop. No.
That's why they couldn't send anything. They had to have Dave the janitor send something.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about, you got breweries that may want to expand, like what you were talking about earlier, Nicko, and right now they're just on hold because they can't get a license to break ground on their new tanks that they want to put in or whatever it is. I mean, I was over at Mash Lab earlier today, and they have new tanks, and they need to get them moved in. Luckily for them, they had already like gotten all the paperwork and everything done before the shutdown happened. Otherwise, when their tanks got delivered, they would be waiting to get their licenses and their permits and everything that it takes from the TTB to expand their brewery and put in the new 15-barrel tanks.
Right.
So, they're lucky, but there are other breweries out there that aren't.
Yeah, and like back to the labeling too, it's like, hey, like this beer is like finishing, like we were expecting to get our labels at this time, so we could like can it, and it's like, well, I guess we're gonna just like keg it up, or like you have to.
It's gonna be a taproom beer.
Taproom beer.
So the backlog's a bit crazy. I think it's like 45 days from when you submit to when you get approval for it. Yeah. And now you talk about they've been almost gone. They've been on sabbatical for 45 days.
Right.
On furlough for 45 days. So now you add in all that extra time. And usually the beginning of the year, a lot of breweries send out their stuff that they need to get approved for their, summer beers or even, spring beers or something like that. Like everybody's putting out new beers at the beginning of the year. So the backlog's going to be crazy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And how are they going to establish where that's going to start?
Yeah,
because it's all piling up now, and it's not just Colorado; it's nationwide.
Yeah,
right.
I'm talking to the Hidden Mother guys; they're being affected as well because they just put the down payment down on 2 new 60-barrel fermenters, and they can't even have them delivered. They're on the truck and like on their way here, and they can't even accept delivery of them because they don't have the proper permits in place. And you're talking about that much investment and that much growth for a small brewery.
Yeah,
that's a gamble. It's like, but they didn't see it coming. They put, they bought them, put the down payment on them before all this started.
Beginning of the year, like
so.
We're way over budget right now. Let's buy some new tanks.
Maybe they hired somebody, too, and then it's like, hey, we have nothing for you to do because, like, we don't have our new equipment yet. And,
yeah.
We're thinking we're going to be pumping out beer, but sorry, Dave, you're fired.
Right.
Yeah.
Or we're going to put you on.
We're just going to furlough you for a couple weeks, Dave.
Yeah.
Just hang out. You're cool, right?
You're cool, right?
Chill.
Well, I'm I wasn't a huge supporter of Polis, but the fact that he made a YouTube video basically pleading with
Another one of those?
another YouTube video, another freaking YouTuber, for God's sake. Gosh. Why? Like, we need another one. But he made a YouTube video basically pleading with Congress and with the president to come to a solution, because they're bickering over petty politics. It's not this isn't something that really should have ever happened.
Right.
And I don't think there's really any realization of this is bigger than a wall.
Mm-hmm.
The effect that it's having on businesses, people's lives, is real.
Right.
I mean, it's real, and I just don't. I don't think they. I think like I said, I think the effects are going to be long lasting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's something that they're going to be able to just walk in, turn the lights back on, and everything's fixed.
Right.
Yeah, Polis is awesome. He's one of the few that has actually gone out and like attacked Trump, like attacked everybody else for saying, "Hey, this isn't right. We need to do this." And he's doing what we elected him to do. And even though, initially it didn't seem like he was going to be a great, he's been doing a fucking stand-up job. And it's just nice to see your state representative standing up for the state, as opposed to the overall politics of the nation in general. Like, he cares about the state, and that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's I don't know. I think it was something that I kind of tied in with what you were saying with the community and the fact that the brewing industry is important to Colorado.
Right.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
Just as equally as tourism or anything else.
Right. Yeah. It's like beer is like a luxury item, but people make their livelihoods off of it. And at the end of the day, if you're not able to, work in whatever facet you're involved in the industry, that sucks.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at now, but we were like third in the nation per capita breweries to people.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's definitely a big deal here.
Yeah.
It's only gotten bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean we've exceeded. We're like somewhere around 355 now in breweries for the state.
Many breweries.
many breweries.
more.
So
There are
we're-
gonna
many
open.
breweries.
with another 26 slated to open by mid-year, which is
Wow.
Which was supposed to be at the beginning of the year, but they got pushed back.
Yeah.
well, yeah, and that's just it. I
probably
mean,
it, yeah.
there's probably a few that are now pushed back a little. I mean, there's one in Fort Collins that was within like March was their target date,
Got pushed back.
and luckily, they have all their permits and everything in place, so they can continue working. But now once they get everything done and they get their brew house in place and they go to start brewing, the backlog might be so far in that they got to hop in line. And when they were expecting to start brewing in late February, they may be looking at more like March.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they might have some like cool names and shit going for their beer, and they're like, oh, well, we don't know. They're taken up, so we're just going to have to do number 1, number 2, number 3. Oh, wait, those are taken up.
Just start brewing and ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah.
You gotta make money.
Right.
Like, you starting a brewery,
Yeah.
I'm sure like they've taken out massive loans or gotten a lot of credit.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
you can't just not run your business.
Yeah,
Right.
or they got investors that are like,
Yeah, you gotta
"Hey
do
man,
this
you
shit."
said I was going to get my first payback in March, and
Right.
I ain't seen nothing."
Shut
And
down Brown.
if you look at that small print, it's a high five. So
High five.
there we go. No, Nicko pointed out on your beer flavored beer from Wiley Roots. If you notice in the top right corner, there's a nice little dilly date.
Yeah, dilly date. Yeah,
Oh,
I thought that
I
was
didn't catch
hilarious.
that. That's hilarious. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
The old dilly date.
yeah. I mean,
Fresh. I mean, it's fresh.
Oh.
It goes to show you,
fresh.
man. You can't tell me that this wasn't created with some sort of like,
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to say malice, but intention of there being something.
If I
Like,
was Kyle, I would send a nice thank you note, handwritten, to the brewery and say, I will not do this again. I am sorry, I did not know. And a 6-pack of this beer, and I think they're going to look at it and then look at and go, holy shit, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
And just kind of laugh about it, and it'll be a good craft beer joke. But
Yeah.
I just thought, that's it. Actually, he did a really good job of going after what he's going for. But Nicko pointed out that little small
I didn't even catch
nuance
that.
that you did not catch until like later
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, it's
If only it was named just something slightly different, where they could have got the cease and desist from somebody
Right?
else.
well, I think whatever they end up naming it, I can see the same kind of image and theme.
You think they're going to do? They're going to do it again.
Yeah,
It's like a broken
They're-
crown.
this beer is really good, so I don't see
It,
them
oddly
not.
enough, is very similar to the original. I mean, it's very well.
Does it
it's very
not
well
taste
brewed.
like a Budweiser?
I mean, yeah. Outside of the visual, I mean, it's still a little cloudy. It's hard to get that brightness of the beer, but man, you get that sweetness is still in there. The aroma's perfect. I mean, it's. If I close my eyes and I'm on a golf course, I'm drinking that. That is that beer.
Yeah, so when they had it on tap, it was a little less oxidized, so the color was a lot lighter, and it, like, drinking it and looking at it, it was just like a light beer. Like any light beer you put in a glass, you were just like, okay. And then he poured one out of the can, and it had that slightly darker tinge, and I was like, okay, that's Fat Bud right there. Like, that's
So you're like, he has Bud Light on tap and he has Bud Light Budweiser cans,
yeah,
and it's the same beer.
yeah,
Weird.
yeah.
Gets heavy.
It's like Duff, and Duff Light, Duff Ultra, all going from one tube from Duff and
and two
separating off.
different tubes. Oh man.
So I have two industry guys here.
Oh, thank you.
And a fat guy and a gorilla. So I do you guys know who Nicko Jackson is? She is a doctor of something that the Brewers Association hired as kind of a representative of diversity in beer. She's a African-American female who loves craft beer. And so they hired her on as kind of an ambassador to diversity in beer. And she recently wrote an article for the New York Times that commentary on bearded fat guys in brewing, white bearded fat guys in brewing, and
what are
how
the chances?
and like how they need to go away and open up the doors for other people to get into brewing, women included, but also Black, Hispanic, whatever, just a little more diversity in brewing. And I'm reading this article, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with all the points she's making, because I feel like there's a lot of diversity in brewing. Personally.
Here.
No, yes, here in this room.
Here,
no, we got-
here in Colorado,
There's at
yeah.
least like two guys that aren't fat bearded
Right,
dudes in here.
Well, fat, whited, bearded guys.
Well, I think on a large,
We do have a lot
larger
of
level,
diversity, yeah.
I think on a larger level, there is a lot of diversity in brewing. I think, you have not only women, but also different ethnicities working on multiple levels within brewing. And I don't feel like it is, yes, maybe there are more white bearded fat guys
Plaid
than there
shirts.
are anybody else. Yeah, exactly. But I just don't necessarily agree with this image that she's trying to paint, that we've taken that I say we because I'm a fat bearded white guy. You're
taking it personal.
You're the norm.
I don't know. I mean, you guys being in the industry, maybe you disagree with me, but I don't feel like there is this like stern line of acceptance. Like, we're just not accepting the diversity.
Well, to tell you being working GABF since 2010 with Nicko, I would actually tell you, like, yes, that first year we went to, I actually poured a GABF. I'm sorry, there was one color there, and it was white.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was pretty much everybody there except for the one person around the corner, and we had Brooklyn Brewery on our island, and it was a black guy pouring, and he was a cool guy. And I'm not saying none of the other brewers were cool. There was not anything else there, and it has grown. And I don't know, like, I agree with her article. There's starting to be more of a mix, but the more of the mix was, as craft beer has grown, money has gotten involved, so you could see where the money has drawn girls into it, involved into it.
Right.
As the face of the brewery, or the marketing manager, or the salesperson. And you saw that with any industry. Pharmaceuticals was one thing. You know, and any guy who would sell pills would go a different route. But then you had the hot, and I think there was How I Met Your Mother episode about this. How hot girls transfer from different industry to different industry, and now it's pharmaceutical reps are all these hot girls because they have to sell. And it feels like now all these marketing managers for any brewery has to be this, you know, certain type to try to get their, you know, name out there.
But I don't feel like that's really that's necessarily the angle. I don't think that the brewing industry is like purposely putting a hot girl as the face of their brewery. I think there are really women who are interested in craft beer who want to be part of it.
But I think that's the women pushed out earlier before they got that stigma of craft beer. That's what they were worried about. They didn't want to have the stigma of, oh man, did you see that sales girl for blah blah blah? No, there was other people saying, no, I own this, you know, hop farm. I brew beer over here. I do this. And I don't go by your typical stereotype of a guy with, you know, brew, you know, white and have a beard. But it has grown better. I read the article. I don't agree with it. I think there is more diversity in the brewing. And there is starting to slowly get a change of pace, but it's always going to be a catch up because there's going to be people that get involved in it, and it just takes some time.
Yeah. And I just don't think she was painting an accurate picture
of what's going on right now.
What is really going on right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, you mentioned Garrett Oliver from Brooklyn Brewing. And you know, he's been in the industry for a long time and came in from the culinary side of it. Yeah. And got into brewing because you know, he loved the kind of history behind it and the technique behind it, and it grew from his love of food and the culinary side to his love of brewing. And I think there's a lot of that going on with not only women, but also other countries. You know, you have all this, like, you have a lot of breweries from other countries that are developing and coming into the United States, and their brewers are coming into the United States because of the fact that their food goes so well with beer. And it's, I don't know, I disagreed with everything she had to say in terms of, and I get it, that's her job for the Brewers Association is to encourage diversity, but I mean, you look at just here locally, I mean, today, Alyssa Thorpe, she was a brewer at Lone Tree, announced that she is now the head brewer at Jagged Mountain. Yeah. So she's an attractive girl, yes, but they didn't bring her on because she's an attractive girl. They brought her on because she's a talented brewer.
Yeah, and I understand that, and I'm getting that with you, but that's what I'm saying. You're getting what's going on here, but you could go state by state and say, okay, I want your head brewers and one just do background and just going on. And I'm going to bet you're going to get some parts of the nation. Yeah, the craft brewing there still needs to grow. Here, we've been doing it. I don't know, Colorado's had some of the first breweries. And yes, they're catching on a lot faster. And there's people that growing in the industry. But yes, we're not the nation. Colorado is a small state within a nation. That's what she's trying to say is, yeah, you could say, hey, yeah, craft beers here is diverse. And it is here in Colorado. But nationwide, no, it's not.
I think it just kind of depends on like what locale you're looking at. Like even within like each state, like Northern Colorado, there's, you know, not necessarily the most diversity. You know, there's like a good like Hispanic population. And I'm from Nebraska originally, where it was fairly similar. College town in Lincoln. I lived in Fort Collins for a long time. It just really depends where you're taking that test sample from and like how broad of a view you're looking at it. And I was just thinking too, kind of just the history of beer in general. Not that there weren't other like fermented beverages from other continents and countries, but you look at beer, you think of beer, it's like, oh, I think of Germany, I think of Belgium, and it's like, oh, those are like Anglo-Saxon, like Caucasian people, cultures that have like migrated over the United States, like started breweries, and maybe it is more connotative to that. So I'm all for we use a lot of different ingredients, but I'm all for the diversity, and I think that there could be more from what I see.
I always feel like there's improvement. If you'd read the article, you would think that she painted a picture that it honestly was just an industry full of fat bearded white guys. Well, straight up. And it's just not true. Right. It really isn't.
No, yeah. There's like, if you really put it under the microscope, that's not true. But I was at a beer fest in Estes like last weekend, and just like, and I kind of make that joke every time. It's like a lot of plaid t-shirts. It's like bald heads, big beards, long hair, it's just like this. Yeah. You got that, when you see somebody walk, it's like, I bet they're in the industry. They look like a brewer, so you can kind of pick them out. But
I get that all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you must be in the industry. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm just a fat guy that likes beer.
Hey, you're in the industry, man. Yeah, no, for this, but no, so I think if you really look at it, like we're trending the right way. But like, it just depends like where you're looking at it from. And I didn't read the article. I don't know the tonality behind it, all that kind of stuff. But, I think it's like you said, she's like probably doing her job, like trying to create a buzz, a spark behind it. Yeah. To be like, yo, like, even if we are trending the right way and it's not that black and white, like, oh, it's like all, just like one subset of people, we're trying to expedite that process to get more people into it, and I think that's just going to make the industry better as a whole. You get different ideas, different cultures in there, different beers and all that. But yeah, I really need to read that article so I can like talk on that better. But
yeah, well, Nick, the brewery you work for has a coast to coast reach,
right?
So I don't know, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, we've got, I don't have numbers offhand, but I know that we've focused on it for the last couple of years of doing reports internally of this is what our ethnicity breakdown is, and this is where we should be working towards. The Fort Collins Brewery, as Blake said, we're in an area that is already kind of ethnicity less kind of set up. We're not rich with diversity here, so the brewery kind of reflects that. So it's part of the business, as I think a lot of companies are these days, is that you try to build diversity as much as you can. And you see your applicants and you see what you're working with, and you try to do as much as you can. But there are just industries that are more one ethnicity than others, just kind of as how it's been historically or how it's naturally been. I think potentially what maybe, I haven't read that article either, but what she may be touching on is the fact that we should be trying to make it more diverse as opposed to just letting it go with the status quo. And I think the IT companies, the Google, Facebooks, Amazons of the world, like they're constantly battling with that, with what their makeup is of their programmers, and constantly there's other programmers out there, there's other brewers out there. It's just how many are there, and how active is each company to bring those people into the fold, or are they just making it easy because 80% of the applicants are a standard subset of what you're looking at, and it's easy to hire from there? Or are you really working to try to get to hire somebody who's maybe not part of the mold? So as long as it's just it's an indication, it's a call to arms to say, hey, let's just make sure we're doing all we can to increase diversity as much as we can. It's not going to change overnight. It's not going to change too quickly, but as long as all breweries and the people in the industry are working towards it, that's a step in the right direction.
And I agree with that. That is one thing that I definitely agree with, because all it does is open beer up to more people, and it's better for the industry as a whole. The more diverse group of people that you have interested in beer and enjoying beer, it's only better for the industry.
Right.
I 100% agree with that. I think that that's only going to make things better in the long run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like we're in a better spot than what was being painted.
Oh yeah,
what was being described.
Yeah, I think we're trending up. But yeah, it's like, it's hard to put myself in like someone else's shoes in that position. But like if you're like African American or like just not the majority demographic wanting to get into the industry, like it might be like, for lack of a better word, like intimidating to like want to do that. Like, hey, like I don't even like want to apply. I don't even think I'll get hired. Like, why should I do that? I've been homebrewing for 3 years. I'm really passionate about it, but it is just like, I've gone to GABF. It is a lot of like, one kind of demographic. So I think like if she's kind of lighting a fire, so to speak, and taking that angle to expedite the process of it, like I can understand that, but you want to have the facts there too. So
yeah, I agree.
Have a beer once in a while. That's good for you.
Yeah, I should try to do that more often.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that one thing that did help, and that was actually opened my mind, it was when we went down to the Too Loose or whatever, the Chicha place.
Yeah,
I thought that guy was like
Los Lucas.
Los Lucas.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Dos Lucas.
Dos Lucas.
Is
Two
it
lights.
Dos Lucas?
Yeah, I thought it was Two Lights.
Might be.
Yeah. So I thought that was he was bringing something to the craft beer industry that I don't even think any craft beer ever thought of brewery I've heard ever trying to brew.
Yeah.
So it was actually eye opening right there, and made me actually research more, because that's more towards being Hispanic and looking towards my roots. Just trying to, because I've only dealt with Mexican lager, and anytime anybody puts a Mexican lager on and I go to their brewery, I would just want to try it.
Right.
But it's something different when you have somebody that goes like deep down, like old school, like way back when. So I love that brewery. I thought that was a good diverse kind of thing coming to the industry, and to be called a brewery and not something different, to segregate it from other breweries. It was it was a brewery. So
yeah.
So I actually really
and it
enjoyed
looked
it.
like a brewery. It felt like a brewery.
Oh yeah. The beer was totally different.
If it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it must be a duck.
But we were both going like, man, this is totally different. This is, if you drink what they were brewing, it didn't taste like beer, but it was that off kind of thing that, but it made it like part of the industry.
That's a good point.
That's
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
I'll bring it full circle here with both diversity and collaboration. Is that New Belgium brews a beer called Mural, and it's with Primus Brewery. It's collaboration with Primus Brewery of Mexico. They're the second largest brewery in Mexico. They're based out of Mexico City, and it's it's an agua fresca beer. It's a kind of a beer trended towards the Hispanic community, and the idea of that agua fresca drink that's more popular in Mexico. And, you're getting that working with another country, working with, another type of flavor, and kind of melding those two together. So it's, I think there's a lot of those opportunities still available. And it's probably a market that's still not hit as much. I mean, Mexican beer that gets brought in is a lager. It's always a Mexican lager. And it's all the big breweries are trying to bring the next, Jalisco or Tecate or Dos Equis. Like it's all the same thing. Like there's more to offer than just a light lager. And it's nice to have that opportunity to change it up a little bit and offer something different.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess like on the high hops front, a little plug we just did within like diversity of beer, and just like with people, we're going to be launching a gluten-free beer. We've had it on tap for a little bit. Puckerberry, sort of gluten-free sour, 4.2%. We got our first and only GABF medal after trying for about 6 years, but we got a gold for that one, and we'll be canning it in 4-packs, and it'll be on draft. So we'll be getting out that out there. Like our motto is all types of beer, all types of people. So we try to do a little bit of everything for everybody. So yeah,
nice.
I like it.
You had me until sour.
Dang it. Dude, Puckerberry is really good, though. Puckerberry is really good.
You guys did a Mexican lager, nacho lager.
I missed that beer.
Dude, that beer was so good. Yeah. I love that. That was a great summertime beer. Hands down, probably like the beer of the summer.
That brings
like
me
you had
back
that
right
song that just like you could remember for every summer, like when you were a kid? Or Nacho Lager was my beer of that summer. That was it, dude. So
Heck yeah.
Nice. Thanks for joining us, Hopheads and Beer Geeks. Whatever platform you are listening on, make sure to follow us, rate us, leave us a little review. We appreciate all the feedback you can give us. But really, what you can do is just go and become a patron. The patrons group gets all sorts of exclusive content, and for as little as $1 a month, you can become a patron, or go to hopheadsguide.com/thehopheads, click on the Become a Patron button, and it's that easy. As always, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate our guests, and we'll see you next time.